The beginning of our story takes place at Wukong Plaza, a place where everyone awakens their powers and discovers their professions. Crowds of people gather, walking towards a massive stone known as the Awakening Stone. One by one, they place their hands on it to unlock their hidden abilities. Among them, the announcer calls out for students from Class 3 Blacksmith and Class 5 Mason to step forward and test their powers. In the middle of all this, we see an arrogant young man named Feng Yang. Watching the others with disdain, he mocks them, saying they are nothing but garbage trying to awaken their professions. At his side are his two lackeys, who eagerly agree with him. They laugh at the people, calling them boring and worthless, while showering praises on their boss. One of them even sneers that no matter what powers these commoners awaken, they will never compare to Feng Yang, a professional warrior. Just then, a well-mannered young man arrives and accidentally bumps into Feng Yang's shoulder. Instantly, one of the lackeys shouts angrily, demanding if he has no eyes and how dare he touch their young master, warning that he will pay for it. The young man, however, stays calm and simply apologizes, explaining he was in a hurry. His confident tone leaves Feng and his lackeys unable to come up with a proper response. This is no ordinary person, he is our main character, the hero of this story. Ling Han. Feng recognizes him right away and smirks, noting that this is Ling Han, the last surviving member of the once powerful Ling family. He mocks him further, remarking that even though his family was destroyed years ago, he still dares to show himself in public. With sharp, dangerous eyes, Feng calls him a fallen young master. Around them, whispers spread through the crowd. People murmur that Ling Han truly is the heir of the Ling family, the only survivor of a once wealthy clan now reduced to nothing. Feng laughs arrogantly, mocking that nothing worthwhile will awaken from the stone for Ling Han. He calls him nothing but garbage. At that moment, our boy steps forward with a faint smile and quietly announces his arrival. Behind him, whispers spread through the crowd, doubting what this weak boy could possibly achieve. Ling Han calmly places his hand on the stone, declaring that it will reveal his true talent and rare profession. As his hand touches it, the stone shines brilliantly, releasing an intense light that engulfs the plaza. The glow is so blinding that no one can see what's happening. People shield their eyes in shock, exclaiming that they have never seen such brightness before. Murmurs spread quickly, many believe this must mean he is a great genius. But Feng refuses to believe it. He shouts that this can't be happening, insisting that someone as useless as Ling Han could never awaken such power. He scoffs that if Ling Han really did, it would be nothing more than a joke. Soon, the stone reveals its result, special hidden profession Beast Master. The crowd gasps. Two girls comment that although it is a rare profession, it is still just a Beast Master, something often dismissed as weak. Confusion spreads, with some unsure whether Ling Han is a genius or simply trash. Ling Han himself feels both happiness and uncertainty at the result, not fully understanding what it means. Feng points his finger at him, mocking that he will never amount to anything. He belittles him, saying he is weak, worthless, and no different from garbage. Lowering his thumb in scorn, Feng declares that Ling Han's awakened power is meaningless. He even offers to forgive him if Ling Han kneels and apologizes, promising to give him some money to help strengthen his powers. But Ling Han responds calmly, saying that Feng must really be looking to get beaten today. He adds firmly that money is nothing but garbage to him, and he doesn't need it. Feng narrows his eyes and sneers, saying Ling Han doesn't seem to understand his position. With dangerous intent, he declares that Ling Han is nothing but trash. Feng growls in anger, declaring that he won't let Ling Han go and swearing to kill him. He gathers his strength and prepares to strike with full force. But before he can attack, a figure suddenly appears. A girl launches a surprise strike from behind, injuring Feng badly and sending him crashing to the ground. She stumbles but lands firmly. This is no ordinary girl. She is strikingly beautiful, with long white hair and a gray coat. Her name is Bia Bing. She coldly rebukes Feng, asking if he really intends to kill her student with such power. Her eyes sharpen as she warns him that if he dares to look at her like that again, she will skin him alive. Feng's expression turns grim. Though furious, he knows he can't act recklessly. He mutters that the only reason Ling Han survived today is because his teacher intervened. But inside, he admits that while he has the power to fight her, Bia Bing belongs to the powerful Bing family. Crossing her would bring him nothing but trouble. He glares at Ling Han one last time and vows to take revenge later before leaving. Afterward, Bia Bing turns to Ling Han. She tells him that awakening the hidden profession of Beastmaster is not bad at all, it is a rare power, and could be perfect for him. Feng mocks her words, saying she shouldn't make fun of him. But before he can finish, Bia Bing smacks him hard and scolds him, reminding him that she has told him countless times not to call her teacher outside of school. He should call her sister instead. Ling Han smiles gently and tells his sister that they should go together. Her heart warms at his words, and she hugs him lovingly, happy to hear it. She reminds him that being a Beastmaster will require money, then hands him a credit card, assuring him not to worry about expenses. All he needs to do is focus on becoming stronger, she will handle the rest. Overwhelmed with joy, Ling Han thanks her, saying he will repay this favor one day. But she hits him again, playfully scolding him for saying such silly things. In a large flat under a beautiful evening sky, Ling Han returns home, shuts the door, and takes a deep breath of relief. A smile spreads across his face as he mutters that he has finally arrived home. Then he declares that it's time to begin. A glowing screen appears before him, displaying a message: "Congratulations, you have successfully awakened your power." At that moment, a mysterious system activates. Ling Han had been waiting for this moment for a long time, and now, finally, it arrived. He had activated the cheat system. Excitement filled him as he realized this power would turn him into a monster, granting countless benefits and giving him the chance to take revenge on everyone who wronged him. A glowing window appeared before him. It displayed his name, Ling Han, his profession, Beast Tamer. His stats were listed: agility, 50, strength, 70, but no other powers yet. The introduction beneath confirmed that his abilities had been fully awakened. Ling Han studied the window carefully when suddenly another blue screen appeared above his head. It displayed a cheerful message: "Loading complete. You are now ready." A bright smile spread across Ling Han's face. He felt immense joy, not only from awakening his powers, but also because of the credit card given to him earlier by his teacher sister. Holding it tightly, he knew he now had the resources to invest in his growth. With this money, he could unlock his potential, strengthen his powers, and become truly unstoppable. Ling Han moves closer to his card, but suddenly the scene shifts. In the blink of an eye, he finds himself floating in a vast, beautiful universe. The view stuns him, it's breathtaking, yet confusing. He wonders where he has arrived, but it becomes clear that he is about to receive a great reward. With this power and money, he can make himself stronger than ever before. At that moment, a mysterious hand appears along with a voice echoing from an activated window. The voice tells him that his system window has opened, and that he must meet certain people. Before him, multiple glowing windows appear, each one showing powerful figures trapped inside as captives. The voice explains that Ling Han has the ability to draw power from one of them. However, there's a condition: he can only unlock one each time he completes 10 levels. That rule is repeated, making it clear that every 10 levels will allow him to unlock another. Ling Han thinks carefully. If he chooses wrong, it could affect his strength and growth. He moves closer to one beast and admits that he cannot purchase anyone else right now. The other options remain locked due to system restrictions, since he is not yet capable of unlocking or buying them. Ling Han chooses his first beast, and a message window appears, congratulating him. It says he should be very happy because the beast he has obtained is ranked among the top 10. At first, it looks like nothing more than a tiny chick, so small that it perches on his finger like an insect. Ling Han stares at it in shock. His expression shifts from surprise to disappointment as he mutters that he must have gone crazy to spend 100,000 coins on this. He feels cheated, convinced that 99% of his money has been wasted. Frustrated, he demands to return the beast and get his money back. But the system window responds firmly, stating that the contract between the beast and its host has already been completed. Suddenly, the beast begins to change. Ling Han protests angrily, saying he never agreed to such a contract and feels like he's being forced into it. Right before his eyes, the small horned beast transforms. The light fades, revealing its true form: an incredibly beautiful girl with long blue and white hair. Ling Han is stunned, his sadness instantly replaced with joy. Overwhelmed, he laughs and calls it the greatest gift he could have received. In the next day at the trial grounds, where shadows await, Suddenly, he notices someone approaching. Someone calls out to him with concern, asking little Lin if he is alright. He then adds that if Lin hasn't found his beast yet, it's fine, he will help him search for one soon. This man's name is Long Tanjoya, and he reassures Lin, saying that while he believes in his own profession, he is confident he can help Lin find a beast together with him. Just then, another person, Theme, appears behind them. With a mocking tone, he insults Lin, questioning whether he really needs a beast just to locate another one. Sneering, Theme suggests that if Lin truly wants to find a beast, he should crawl on the ground like a dog and sniff around. Perhaps then he might discover something small. Lin Han responds calmly, asking if Theme had really just compared someone to a dog. Theme grins widely, muttering that it isn't wrong to say so. Then, his smile twists into anger as he shouts that Lin dares to mock him. He warns Lin to move quickly like a dog or else he will take revenge. Filled with rage, Theme lunges at Lin, determined to strike him down. But Lin Han doesn't flinch. He easily blocks Theme's powerful attack, stopping it as though it were nothing. No matter how many times Theme throws punches, he cannot move Lin at all. Lin simply mocks him, saying that Theme, his so-called dear dog, could neither frighten him nor shake him. Shocked, Theme exclaims in disbelief, how is this possible? Lin is supposed to be just a beast tamer. How can he possess such overwhelming power? Could it be that Bai Bing granted him strength yesterday? That must be the only explanation. At that moment, Lin Han's teacher calls out to him, telling him that it is now his turn to step forward. He says that the portal is ready and urges Lin Han to go inside quickly. Just then, his dear friend comes to him with concern, warning that it could be very dangerous and insisting that he shouldn't go alone. He offers to accompany him and help. But Lin Han reassures him, saying not to worry, that he knows how to protect himself, and that he will handle everything on his own. Feng interrupts, telling Lin Han that he has already spoken to Teacher Cao, and this trial will be his last after it. He will not survive. As Han prepares to leave, the teacher looks at him coldly, calling him the little beast who dares to keep an eye on Bai Bing. Cao declares that Bai Bing, a remarkable female teacher, belongs to him alone, and if anyone dares to come between them, even this boy, he will destroy them forever. Han enters the portal and finds a board inside. On it is written that the trial ranges from level 11 to level 20. It also warns that anyone at level 1, who has only just awakened their power, must not enter. The reason is clear. Wolves lurk here, and it is deadly. Han suspects this is another one of Cao's schemes meant to put him in danger. But he remains undaunted. Suddenly, he hears noises behind him. Turning around, he is shocked to see countless wolves staring at him with dangerous eyes, ready to attack. They surround him, but Han stays calm, confident in his hidden strength. Speaking softly to a girl within him, he tells her that it's time to awaken and fight alongside him. He vows that even if Cao wants him dead, it will never happen. In the next moment, more wolves emerge from a small hut. Then, in a flash, the presence within Han awakens, transforming into a beautiful girl before his eyes. Han is stunned by her beauty. She looks at him with devotion and declares that she is ready. Her status window becomes visible, and it is truly astonishing. It shows that her level is 10, her power is 800, and her spirit is 600, clear proof that she is exceptionally strong. Seeing this, Han challenges the wolves, calling them to attack him. He wants to test not only his own strength, but also the power of the girl who now fights beside him. Right after this, Han's own status window appears, displaying all of his attributes. A message then congratulates him, announcing his victory in his very first battle. As a reward, he is granted 120 points. We see a magnificent beast named Hen land a powerful punch on the wolf's face, followed by a crushing kick that sends the wolf flying far away. Within just a few seconds, barely 50, all the wolves are slain, their bodies falling like lightning struck them down. Hen's eyes remain wide open as he unleashes his fury, stunned by how easily his master wiped out the entire pack. The master descends gracefully from the cliff to the ground, standing calmly. His appearance is striking, and the red glow in his eyes makes him look even more breathtaking. Seeing this, Len praises him, saying he is one of those legendary Asian beasts, because he managed to defeat the wolves in less than a minute. He adds that once the master learns more, he will become so powerful that monsters will fall before him like blades of grass. The master is pleased, knowing he cleared the wolves within minutes and his level has risen higher. A golden glow, a dark glow, his power radiates around him. Deep inside, he admits he is still not strong enough to face her. Yet, he feels certain that he has now become a true combatant capable of standing his ground in battle. At that moment, the beautiful girl gazes at Han with childlike innocence and softly asks what she can do for him now. Han replies that only a foolish person would even think of fighting her because of how powerful she is. He reminds her that she is one of the top 10 ancient beasts, and very few creatures could ever compare to her strength. Han then tells her that she is truly amazing. She continues to look at him like a curious child, as though she understands nothing of her own greatness. With a gentle smile, she calls him a good master. Han moves closer, and his face begins to turn red, shyness spreading across him. Just as he is about to step even nearer, she subtly keeps her distance and asks if there is any other task for her. At that same time, 3 people are shown watching Han from behind. Among them is Han's leader, accompanied by 2 of his subordinates' tools at his disposal. The leader remarks that the cow had told them Han was alone. Yet here he is with a powerful girl by his side. One of the subordinates admits they hadn't expected this, but acknowledges the truth. The girl is frighteningly strong, capable of wiping out wolves within minutes. They admire her beauty, remarking that she is not only powerful but also a wonderful and enchanting girl, whose elegance radiates from head to toe. The men whisper among themselves, deciding to inform their boss that harming the girl would be a mistake. They joke that she is even more beautiful than their teacher Bia Bing, laughing as one suggests keeping her alive instead of killing her. Their boss interrupts harshly, reminding them that their main job is to kill the boy. Only after finishing him and receiving their payment can they do as they wish with the girl. When no one responds, he angrily demands why they remain silent. As he turns, his expression changes to shock. The girl is already behind him. She has beaten one subordinate to the ground and holds another by the neck, as though he were hanging. The boss stares in disbelief, demanding to know what is happening. The girl makes it clear that she has overheard their intentions and will not allow anyone to harm her master. He is stunned, realizing she heard everything from far away. Fear sets in as he understands her overwhelming power. Without hesitation, he runs, muttering to himself that her level must be 20 and that she is far too dangerous to face. But the girl refuses to let him escape. The girl firmly declares that the boss has misunderstood her master. The boss, stunned, demands to know who she is and how she could do such a thing. Realizing she is a high-level protector, he panics and orders his men to attack. But deep down he knows the situation is too dangerous and begins thinking only of saving himself. As he runs, he glances back to check his distance, a mistake that costs him dearly. From above, a massive monster's foot slams down, its claws tearing into him. Screaming for the attack to stop, he realizes too late that he is facing something far beyond his control. Han stops the girl, warning her of the immense danger ahead. She raises her hand, insisting he stay behind while she deals with it. But Han urges caution, pointing out that the creature before them is no ordinary threat, it is a terrifying monster. The monster's appearance is overwhelming, enormous in size, with long hair, glowing blue eyes, and a body radiating energy. Its level is revealed to be 22. The wolves they had just defeated all belong to this beast, it is their king. The wolf boss, crushed under the monster's foot, pleads desperately for his life, begging for help. But the monster lifts its foot only to slam it down again, crushing him completely into pieces. A system window appears before Han, informing him that killing the creature would grant 20 points. Han studies the information and realizes that this monster, a level 22 king, is extremely dangerous and risky to face. Han realizes that the monster's power far exceeds the girl's and warns her that handling it will be nearly impossible. He suggests they leave before it's too late. But she refuses, saying she has seen the creature fully now and will not back down. She is determined to fight and destroy it. Han feels both proud and relieved, admiring the dangerous beauty in her determined eyes, which gives him courage as well. The enemy points toward her, commanding the Wolf King to attack and tear her apart. The massive beast opens its mouth wide and lunges at her. The girl leaps forward, but the wolf clamps down with its enormous jaws, trying to crush her. She resists, attempting to force its mouth open with her strength. The wolf then hurls her into the air, and when she crashes to the ground, she is badly injured. The beast does not relent. It slams its paw down on her, pressing her into the earth. She struggles back to her feet, only to be struck down again. Each time she tries to block with her power, the wolf's overwhelming level makes it clear she cannot hold him off for long. Han watches anxiously, realizing she is being pushed to her limit. Sweat drips down his face as he admits the wolf's level is far too high for her to withstand repeated attacks. The situation becomes dire as the monster prepares another crushing blow. Just then, Han steels himself, deciding he must act. He rushes in, striking the wolf with his fist, determined to show his own power in the battle. A system window suddenly appears before Han, declaring that his mission has been completed and rewarding him with 120 points. This was an incredible reward. 120 points was no small achievement. Overjoyed, Han shouts with excitement and tells the beautiful girl that both of their powers have been activated. He urges her to use her newly gained strength to defeat the wolf. Another window appears for the girl, showing that she has unlocked a special skill through the reward. Her body begins to glow as if upgrading itself. Light radiates around her, and in an instant, she transforms into a small bird-like form. The wolf, startled, looks around in confusion, unable to find her. Then, a beam of dangerous light suddenly bursts inside the wolf's stomach, causing immense damage. The girl in her transformed state had entered the wolf from within. She emerges shortly after, returning to her human form. Without hesitation, she launches her attack. Grabbing hold of the wolf's stomach, she unleashes her power and tears through him, cutting the beast into two pieces. As if one monster had ripped another in half, its body torn apart and teeth scattered across the ground. The beautiful girl, once radiant, now appears terrifying as she delivers the finishing blow. Han is stunned, surrounded by blood splattered everywhere. Another system window appears, announcing that the mission has been completed. This time the reward is immense, 20,000 points and an additional 200 points, fully completing the task. The girl collapses to the ground, exhausted, admitting that defeating a level 20 king was incredibly difficult and dangerous. Suddenly, her expression changes. She lifts her head, and her eyes glow with a dangerous aura. She no longer looks like an innocent or beautiful girl, but like a deadly warrior. Han stares in shock as another system interface begins loading before him. The system confirms that the mission is complete and grants him new powers. When the windows vanish, the girl's demeanor shifts again. She returns to her innocent, childlike state, smiling sweetly. She happily tells her master that she has slain the giant wolf, her joy so pure that she throws her arms around him in celebration. Han blushes deeply, flustered by the girl's sudden closeness. Her face also turns red, as if she herself doesn't fully understand her own actions. Exhausted, she admits she is too tired and needs to rest. Her eyes slowly close, and she drifts into sleep, her head resting on her master's shoulder. In that moment, she looks peaceful and beautiful. Han gently picks her up and lays her down to rest. He feels joy within himself, grateful for the many points he has earned through this battle. Turning his head, he quietly thanks her for all the help she has given him. Even in her sleep, she softly responds, assuring him she is fine and simply needs rest. A window appears, showing that her powers are restoring while she sleeps. Han notes that it feels similar to playing the online games from his old life, resting to regain energy. Curious about his own rewards, he opens another window to see what items he has received. To his surprise, he finds a powerful weapon. The system states that it requires level 22 to use, with a strength value of 50. When the loading completes, Han beams with excitement, pleased that his investment of points has been worth it. He remarks to himself that this weapon will fetch a high price in the marketplace, and he can sell it for a great profit. Han reflects to himself that once he gets stronger, he will continue hunting beasts, collecting their rewards, and building his wealth. Curious, he opens his status window. His eyes widen. His name appears as Lean Han, his profession as beast tamer, and his level is no longer 1. It now shows as level 10. The system explains that with continued battles, his level will keep rising. He is astonished, unable to believe that killing just one wolf had boosted him to this level. Looking at the corpses around him, he considers making a plan to hunt them for profit. Yet he realizes that money is not his priority right now. Instead, his focus shifts to the boys still alive, the ones who were beaten down by the beautiful girl. Han thinks carefully, noting that before anyone tries to hunt him, he must uncover who is truly planning to kill him and what secrets they are hiding. He glances at his own hand, noticing its refined shape, and his curled hair brushes against his face. With a quiet smile, he acknowledges that things are becoming far more interesting. His gaze then drifts to the sky, where the moon glows brightly in the night. A few hours later, the scene shifts. His teacher appears, standing before a large screen. Behind him is a medical team composed of many boys, ready to carry out their duties. The teacher in charge of the medical team addresses his group, reminding them that the children who joined the trial will soon return. He orders them to prepare for treatment, but notes that not all of the students will make it back, only the lucky ones. Suddenly, he turns and notices Teacher Bia arriving. Surprised, he points out that she didn't need to come, as he could handle everything himself. He congratulates her on the student's return and reassures her that she need not worry. But Teacher Bia immediately asks about Lin Han's trial and how he performed. The man responds sharply, reminding her that while she may be close to Lin Han, fairness requires that all students be treated equally. He implies that she should not only be concerned with one child. Then, lowering his tone, he suggests speaking privately, claiming he wants to share his past experiences. His intentions, however, are not pure. At that moment, a knife suddenly appears in Teacher Bia's hand, and she presses it against his neck, demanding an explanation from him. Sweat forms on his forehead as he tries to act clever, insisting that she won't understand him so quickly. But his forced confidence only reveals his nervousness. Teacher Bia raises her voice, accusing him of deliberately endangering Lin Han. She explains that Han was sent to the silver level zone, which was extremely dangerous for someone who had only just awakened his power. That training ground, she insists, was not suitable for him. She believes he sent Han there not for training, but to bring humiliation upon him, or worse, to have him killed. The man tries to defend himself, insisting she has misunderstood. He explains that he sent Lin Han there so his level could rise more quickly. He claims Han was not alone, since 3 of his own men were sent along to protect him. Teacher Bia, unconvinced, warns him that he should pray nothing happens to Lin Han. If harm comes to him, she vows to inflict the same fate upon the one responsible. Her words carry a deadly seriousness. The man, however, tries to reassure her, saying nothing of the sort will happen. Inwardly, though, his thoughts betray him. He secretly anticipates Han's death, already picturing Bia's despair when she sees the boy's body. Worse still, his intentions toward Bia are corrupt. He thinks of her in the same vile way he thought of other women in the past. As the students returning from the trials, among them is a beautiful young girl from the 6th class named Ling. She is only level 5 yet already recognized as the most talented student in the school. People admire her achievement, noting that she is the first female to return successfully from the trials. However, some dismiss her accomplishment, saying it isn't surprising since she is already gifted and powerful. By comparison, many whisper that it would be far more difficult for Han to succeed, since he is considered weak. Feng steps forward to praise Ling, complimenting her talent and trying to draw her attention. He points out that, as one of the top students, passing the trial must have been easy for her. Ling ignores his attempt and walks past him, remarking that only the old Han would have been worth her notice, as he was once truly strong. Her words anger Feng, who lashes out in frustration, telling her he doesn't care about her at all. Meanwhile, the crowd's attention shifts as another student emerges from the trial grounds. As the students wait, one of them anxiously asks whether Han has returned, clearly worried about him. Feng scoffs and mocks the question, saying that the student is lucky to have come back from the trial at all and should be celebrating. He adds that not everyone has such good fortune. Someone like Han, for example, would never return and has most likely already been killed. On the other side, Han's friend hears this insult and demands that Feng repeat himself. Feng doubles down, claiming that someone like Han could never survive and must already be dead. Tension rises until a stern voice interrupts, ordering them to stop quarreling. It is Han's teacher. The teacher reminds them to focus on their own work instead of worrying about Han, warning that those who cause unnecessary trouble will face consequences. He orders them to clear the path for the students who are still coming back from the trial. Despite the teacher's words, Han's friend seethes with anger, while Feng and others continue mocking Han behind his back. The students continue mocking Han, insisting that he can never return. They say he has no power left, that someone like him deserves to die. Once, he was the young master of his family and incredibly strong, but now he has lost all ability, making his survival impossible. Just then, a stone strikes the heads of Han's mockers. Everyone turns in shock. It is Lin Han, returning from the trial. His friend runs up with joy, relieved and excited to see him alive. The teacher looks at him with pride, praising his effort and admitting that he had feared for his safety, but Han had proven himself by succeeding. Meanwhile, another teacher, the one who had been plotting against him, seethes with anger. He cannot understand how Han managed to survive. He had sent 15 men after him to ensure his failure, yet Han still returned. Furious, he mutters that it is not over and promises to deal with him personally. He arrogantly remarks that Han must have survived only by hiding in fear, comparing him to a pet dog without its master. Han's friend steps forward, calling out the teacher's cowardice, insisting that not everyone is weak or afraid like him. Feng's companions encourage him, and Feng declares that even if he is called a coward, he will take revenge and prove himself. He mocks Han, calling him weak and pathetic for taking so long to return from the trial, claiming he is nothing but a coward. Han's friend, furious, demands that Feng repeat himself and warns him to stop. Tempers flare, and he threatens to deal with Feng directly if he continues. At this point, Han finally steps in. Calm but sharp, he tells Feng that he isn't even capable of shaking the dirt off his shoes with his beast power, and that all he can do is bark like a dog. Hearing this insult, Feng's face darkens, and his anger boils over. He challenges Han to a wager. If Han wins, Feng will give him 100,000 coins. But if Han loses, he must kneel and apologize. Han's friend quickly warns him not to let emotions take over, reminding him to stay calm. But Han refuses to back down, insisting that this is between him and Feng, and that no one else should interfere. Their teacher acknowledges the challenge and warns Feng that since he has made the wager, he must honor it, adding that fairness is most important. The teacher quietly observes, smiling inwardly. He believes Han is speaking too boldly for someone with so little power. In his mind, Han is overconfident and hiding something. Another teacher, however, suspects that Han is up to a trick, calling the challenge dangerous and perhaps even a scam. Still, since the wager has been made, the duel must begin. At this point, Han's friend Long steps forward, offering to take part in the challenge himself. He explains that he is only level 2, but is willing to prove his worth. Feng laughs mockingly, belittling Long for daring to face him. He brags about his own level 3 power, saying that only true geniuses can reach such a stage, while Long's level 2 is nothing in comparison. Feng and his followers burst out laughing, ridiculing anyone foolish enough to compete against him. Long's anger grows, but Feng turns his attention back to Han, insisting it is his turn. He mocks level 2 users as weak and rare, claiming they are unworthy of respect. His taunts intensify, his arrogance on full display, as Han calmly prepares for his move. Feng grows more arrogant, taunting Han by saying he should kneel and step on his feet, since he cannot even reveal his level. Han's friend bursts with anger, warning Feng that his pride will one day be crushed. But Han calmly tells his friend not to worry, assuring him that he has a dangerous power strong enough to destroy Feng. Han points out that Feng is only at level 3, which is nothing compared to him. He explains that even if he lowered himself by 1 level and started again from the beginning, he would still surpass Feng easily. He dismisses Feng's boasting about level 3 as meaningless. As he speaks, light begins radiating from Han's body. The crowd watches in disbelief as his true level is revealed level 10. Shock ripples through the audience, leaving everyone stunned. None of them can understand how Han could have possibly reached such a high level. When Feng sees Han's level, he is completely shocked. He refuses to believe it, insisting that no one could rise to such power in such a short time. To him, it seems impossible that someone from level 1 could reach this stage so quickly. He accuses Han of cheating, claiming that no student in their school has ever reached level 10. Han responds calmly, pointing out that those who lack courage themselves often assume others are incapable as well. He tells Feng that just because he cannot achieve something doesn't mean no one else can. Han also hints at the existence of a hidden class, suggesting that there is more to him than anyone realizes. Han reminds Feng of the wager, saying that he has won and now expects him to keep his word. He demands that Feng fulfill his promise and ensure that no further trouble comes his way, warning that otherwise, the consequences will be heavy. Meanwhile, Han's teacher watches him with suspicion, wondering how his level could have risen so quickly. Feng, frustrated and defeated, tries to save face by crediting his achievements to his master, claiming that all the progress he has made is because of his guidance. In truth, he is trying to send a message to the cow, showing loyalty and hinting that he knows more than he reveals. Han humbly credits his master for all his success, saying he endured many hardships to protect him. His words surprise the master, who begins to suspect that Han has realized the truth that he was the one who sent people to kill him. The master recalls sending 15 strong men, yet none returned. Shock and unease grow within him as he wonders if Han deliberately caught their trail to expose him. The master feels threatened, realizing Han could be setting a trap. He tells himself he cannot allow this boy to reveal the truth, as it would ruin his position in the school. Silencing Han becomes his priority, even if it means eliminating him entirely. Meanwhile, the top student of the school is stunned to see Han's level revealed as 10. Known as a genius herself, she only holds level 5, yet she reassures herself that she will eventually reach higher. Still, Han's growth leaves her astonished. Afterward, Han approaches his teacher, who questions how he managed to appear there and complete the trial. Han calmly tells her that this is his responsibility, and that he knows how to accomplish it. His determination and composure only deepen the mystery surrounding his true power. Long remarks proudly that Han has finally reached the place he was meant to be, even though it cost him his family in the past. Now, with his level raised to 10, he has become strong and successful. Han's mother, however, is left in shock. She turns to her teacher, who is secretly preparing to attack Han out of fear that his rising strength could bring her downfall. Just as the teacher prepares to strike, another figure steps in from behind and blocks the attack. It is Bia, who confronts her directly. Bia reminds her that attacking a student is strictly against academy rules and urges her to stop immediately. But the teacher refuses, declaring her intent to completely destroy Han. She launches another powerful strike, aiming not only at Han but also at Bia. The clash is intense. Bia tries to block the blow but is forced back, falling to the ground, her coat slipping off in the process. Rising again, she warns her opponent that his reckless actions will not succeed as long as she stands in the way. She had suspected him for some time, which is why she came prepared. With a swift kick, she forces him back, though the damage is minimal. Han and his friends watch in disbelief, shocked by the sudden turn of events and the fierce confrontation unfolding before them. Han watches the clash with concern, realizing that this fight is beyond Bia's ability. If it continues, she will suffer serious harm. The enemy seizes her and brutally throws her to the ground, vowing to take revenge and repay every past grudge. He strikes her mercilessly, kicking her hard and sending her crashing away, leaving her injured. At that moment, Han steps in. He leaps forward and delivers a powerful kick, knocking the enemy back and saving Bia. He catches her in his arms, asking if she is hurt. Though shaken, Bia insists she is fine. Han points out the strength behind a level 10 attack, warning that she has now felt its true force. Bia, however, responds that she knows exactly where Han's level 10 power came from. Her words carry suspicion, hinting that she is aware of secrets others do not yet understand. The teacher demands that Han be expelled, trying to shift responsibility away from himself. But suddenly, a body falls before everyone's eyes. Shock spreads through the crowd as Han reveals that these are the very men the teacher had sent to kill him. Their lifeless bodies, including their leader, now lie as evidence. Han calmly tells him that these are the ones he was talking about. The teacher is momentarily stunned, realizing the truth. Yet, instead of guilt, relief washes over him. Inwardly, he thinks that with these men dead, there are no longer any witnesses left who could testify against him. Without them, no one can expose his schemes, and he believes this outcome works in his favor. The other Academy members, however, begin to see the teacher's true nature. Whispers spread, and suspicion grows about just how corrupt and dangerous he really is. Han vows to uncover the truth, promising that he will find the person responsible for sending the letter against him. His determination only angers Cao, who threatens to break his body apart if he continues speaking. Bia intervenes, urging him to stop. Han points out that the only reason Cao is attacking him is because he exposed his schemes publicly. He declares that it is true no one would ever expect that a Cao and his own teacher could conspire to harm a student, even going as far as sending assassins after him. He reflects bitterly that when a teacher behaves this way, the student's position becomes extremely dangerous. Cao, consumed by rage, warns Han to stay silent and admits that his actions are motivated by revenge. Han replies that this is nothing but an attempt to silence him, showing that the teacher has no idea what consequences will follow. As Cao moves in to strike, the audience erupts. Outraged by his actions, they begin shouting, calling him a cheater and demanding justice. They urge one another to punish him, to cut him down, saying this is exactly what should happen to someone who betrays and endangers his own students. The battle intensifies as the teacher attempts to land powerful punches on Han, but each time he strikes, Han's figure splits into several afterimages. Wherever the teacher aims, Han appears from another angle, striking from the side. Shocked, the teacher realizes that even fighters at level 20 cannot achieve such speed and agility. He begins to suspect that Han possesses a unique, awakened power unlike anything seen before. Han, however, admits to himself that his opponent's strength is far greater, and that he cannot win in a straightforward clash. Still, he notices the teacher tiring as he continues to dodge, and he plans to outlast him. At that moment, Han calls upon his hidden ability. He releases a chilling snow-like power that spreads across the ground. The teacher is stunned, unable to comprehend what is happening. Before he can react, his foot becomes frozen solid, locking him in place. Han seizes the moment, kicking with full force. The blow launches the teacher backward, slamming him hard into the mountainside. This display shocks everyone, proving that Han is not weak at all. As he lands back on the ground, Han thanks his teacher ironically, pointing out that the trial he was forced into made him far stronger. Without that trial, he would never have grown so quickly or gained such powers. He explains that while he never intended to rise this fast by relying on outside forces, the trial gave him the strength he needed, and now he is powerful enough to defeat even his own master. Han creates some distance in the fight, preparing for another strike. Just as he moves, a presence awakens on his shoulder. Chantinuma, the small girl who has always been with him. She rises, her body glowing as her powers awaken. Slowly, her form changes, her aura growing more intense. Her system window appears, displaying her skills and abilities for all to see. The teacher stares in shock, demanding to know who she is. Chantinuma steps forward, declaring that anyone who dares to harm her master will face her wrath. Her expression turns fierce as she prepares to answer his attack. The teacher sneers, mocking her for stepping in and claiming she will meet the same fate as Han. He launches his strike, and Chantinuma counters. Their powers collide, filling the sky with blinding flashes of blue, green, and red light. A massive explosion shakes the ground, leaving the audience stunned. The crowd murmurs in awe and fear, worried that such a destructive clash could harm everyone around them. Yet their attention quickly turns to the girl herself. Her beauty leaves them speechless, and they marvel at her strength. Chantinuma presses forward, her fist glowing brightly as she delivers a devastating punch. Watching this, Han's friend Long beams with joy, proud of the incredible strength she has revealed. Everyone is stunned when they realize Han had been hiding a mysterious girl with him all along. Bai Bing is shocked, questioning who this girl is and what her connection to Han might be. The audience whispers in confusion, wondering where she suddenly appeared from and what exactly is happening. The beautiful girl, filled with anger, moves forward to attack Cao and avenge her master. She is about to strike when a voice calls out behind her, Han's voice telling her to stop. He warns that revealing their combined powers would not be good for either of them. Hearing this, she immediately halts her attack and returns to his side. Meanwhile, the blow Cao had taken sends him crashing hard into the mountain, leaving him severely injured. The girl then turns back to Han with a childlike innocence, proudly telling him she obeyed his words. She assures him she stopped only because he asked her to. Han praises her, saying she did the right thing. She giggles sweetly, acting like an obedient child. Her demeanor shifts back to her innocent state, and with a gentle smile, she climbs onto Han's shoulder once again, clinging to him as the crowd continues to watch in awe. Lin Han standing in the field while teacher Cao glares at him with anger. Cao accuses him of being ill-mannered and corrupt, claiming he killed the teaching assistant and even plotted to attack them with outsiders. He continues, insisting that Lin Han must be punished for his actions, and demands to know where the girl with him has gone. Without waiting for an answer, Cao charges forward to attack. At that moment, a voice calls out for him to stop. An elderly man, around 50 years old, appears surrounded by a faint glow. Calm and composed, he descends directly in front of Teacher Cao. Shocked, Cao stumbles back in fear. The man sternly declares that the matter has not been properly investigated and that blaming a student without proof is unacceptable. Teacher Cao is stunned to see him, wondering why he has appeared here. We then learn that this man is none other than the dean, the principal of the school. His level is 56, holding the rank of Demon Refining Master, which is considered an incredibly high position. In comparison, Lin Han is only level 10, showing just how vast the difference between them is. The dean begins to examine the situation and asks questions to clarify what happened. Teacher Cao insists that Lin Han killed one of their teaching assistants and should be punished immediately. He argues that the person who died was very important and demands justice, pointing at the corpse as evidence lying in front of them. The dean carefully inspects the body, studying its condition. He turns back to Lin Han and asks for an explanation, pressing him to clarify what exactly happened and whether he has anything to present in his defense. Lin Han steps forward and insists that he wants to explain how the teaching assistant actually died. He recounts the sequence of events, while the dean carefully investigates the body. Using his light-based power, the dean quickly examines it and notices that the bones are crushed and the internal organs destroyed. The condition is so severe that it seems impossible for a normal human to have caused such damage. He concludes that it must have been the work of a powerful beast, not a student. The dean then questions whether an animal was involved. Teacher Cao tries to counter but grows uneasy. Lin Han explains further, saying that the teaching assistant had not been with him to protect him, but instead had been secretly monitoring him under Cao's orders. Because of this, the assistant encountered the Wolf King, which was the true cause of his death. Lin Han firmly denies killing him. Hearing this, Teacher Cao is taken aback, clearly shaken by the claim. He steps back in disbelief, calling Lin Han's explanation nonsense. At that moment, Miss Bing arrives. She supports Lin Han and informs the dean that Teacher Cao had indeed acted against him. She reveals that Cao deliberately sent Lin Han into a realm far beyond his level, a place far more dangerous than he could reasonably handle. Lin Han steps forward, insisting that he must explain how the teaching assistant truly died. He recounts the events carefully while the dean continues his investigation. Channeling light energy, the dean examines the body and discovers that the bones are completely crushed and the internal organs destroyed. The extent of the damage makes it clear that this was not done by a human. He concludes that it must have been caused by a powerful beast. The dean questions whether an animal was involved. Teacher Cao tries to argue back, but his unease begins to show. Lin Han continues, explaining that the teaching assistant was not sent to protect him but to secretly monitor him on Cao's orders. Because of this, the assistant encountered the Wolf King and was killed, proving that Lin Han was not responsible. Cao is shaken by this explanation, calling it nonsense, yet his disbelief only makes his position weaker. At that moment, Miss Bing arrives. She steps in to support Lin Han and reveals the truth to the dean that Teacher Cao deliberately sent him into a realm far beyond his level, a place too dangerous for him to handle. She points out that Cao's claim of sending an assistant for protection cannot be justified. Instead, the evidence clearly shows that this was an intentional attempt to put Lin Han in harm's way. Lin Han firmly states that he did not kill the teaching assistant and explains that the man was actually killed by the Gale Wolf King in an accident. To prove this, he subdues two of the assistants and forces them to reveal the truth. With the help of his small companion, he erases parts of their memory while pressing them to confess. Surrounded by sharp thorns that dig into their feet, they scream in pain and finally reveal the entire story. Hearing their confession, Lin Han feels relieved, knowing the truth is now clear. All the evidence points against Teacher Cao, and Lin Han has proven his innocence. The dean, surprised by the revelation, turns to Cao and demands an explanation. Shocked and panicked, Cao tries to flee, but the dean seizes him with his powers. With overwhelming force, the dean crushes him, strips his soul, and ends him completely. He declares that this is the punishment Cao deserves and warns that anyone who dares commit such acts in the future will meet the same fate. Miss Bing smiles with relief, remarking that the ordeal is finally over. But Lin Han does not share her lightheartedness. He looks at her seriously, pointing out that a man has just died, and yet she smiles as if nothing has happened. He reminds her that such things should not be taken lightly. Miss Bing gently tells him that he must be exhausted after everything, and advises him to rest, especially since he had just defeated a wolf. Meanwhile, a girl silently watches Lin Han. She is the class topper, a level 5 student, and she looks at him with awe. From her eyes, it is clear she believes Lin Han was truly the one who killed the... Miss Lin approaches Lin Han, curious and amazed at what she had just witnessed. She questions how he managed to defeat the Gale wolf, a powerful primordial beast that was considered nearly impossible to kill. Being the class topper, she finds it hard to believe and keeps pressing for answers. She comes so close that Lin Han grows uneasy, politely reminding her to keep some distance. Still, she insists that he could not have done it alone, reasoning that no beast should be accompanying him now if he really had such strength. Her words clearly point to her suspicion that Lin Han himself might be a primordial beast. Lin Han is left surprised and unsure of how to respond, especially when Miss Lin demands to know if it is truly the case. Her persistence unsettles him, as he fears that fighting her might expose the truth that he had not defeated the Gale Wolf King by himself. Just as the tension rises, Miss Bing steps in between them. She acknowledges Miss Lin's desire to grow stronger, but warns her that this is not the right way to pursue power. Lin Han gently asks Miss Lin to keep some distance, noticing the jealousy she shows whenever Miss Bing is near him. Miss Bing steps in, explaining that it is not right for Miss Lin to challenge a tired student just to test her own strength. She reminds her that asking Lin Han to fight again so soon after a battle is reckless and could cause more harm than good. Miss Lin grows uneasy at the remark, wondering silently who is trying to come between them. The two women face each other, their tension clear. Miss Bing firmly states that Lin Han needs rest, not another fight. Miss Lin responds that she only wanted to see how much stronger he had become. Lin Han intervenes, admitting that he is exhausted and needs time to recover. He asks them both to end their argument, saying he will be leaving to rest. Both women look at him in surprise, realizing they had been arguing for his sake, while he seemed completely unaware of their rivalry. To lighten the mood, Lin Han suddenly changes the subject, commenting on how beautiful the weather is, leaving both Miss Bing and Miss Lin staring at him in disbelief. As the conversation ends, Miss Bing quietly wonders about the mysterious girl with red eyes and white hair. The thought lingers in her mind, stirring jealousy, even though she herself had once forced Lin Han to call her sister. What surprises her is the intensity of her feelings. She realizes she is burning with envy, something common when it comes to girls and their rivalries. When everything settles, she turns away, telling Lin Han to rest well. But just as he prepares to leave, Miss Lin steps closer once more, reminding him that he still hasn't answered her earlier question. Startled, Lin Han nervously explains that he is too tired right now and promises they will talk another day. Miss Lin studies him for a moment before saying that she understands he must have promised something to someone, which is why he isn't telling her the truth. She accepts his words and says they will talk later. Finally, when Lin Han walks away from both of them, he feels puzzled. He cannot understand why Miss Bing seemed so angry or why her emotions turned to jealousy so suddenly. Lin Han remains confused about Miss Bing's jealousy. He thinks back to how she had secretly trained him with strict discipline, feeling proud of his progress, yet angry whenever he directed his attention towards someone else. The contradiction leaves him unsettled. Soon after, Lin Han heads to the Shadow Momentum Exchange to settle matters of money. He needs to collect the prize from the recent battle he won or nearly lost. A beautiful waitress greets him warmly and serves tea, creating a calm atmosphere. Moments later, an assistant manager approaches, recognizing him as Mr. Lin. The man introduces himself as Ten Ben, explaining that he had already heard stories of Lin Han's victory over the Gale wolf. Sitting beside him, Ten Ben watches as Lin Han displays the weapons he used in the fight. Lin Han explains that these were the tools that helped him bring the beast down. The manager is surprised, quietly asking if there was any issue. Lin Han responds calmly, saying there is no problem. He adds that everyone sometimes overlooks things or fails to pay attention. It is natural and not something to take offense at. Manager 10 reveals that he once knew Lin Han's father, who was also named Lin. He explains that they had been close for 10 years and considered each other friends. Because of this, he tells Lin Han to simply call him Uncle 10, assuring him that he will support him as if he were family. He reminds Lin Han that this is only the beginning of his journey, and it will be his responsibility to revive his family's legacy. Revenge, he explains, does not mean destroying people, but rather reclaiming what rightfully belongs to him. Lin Han, still uncertain, wonders how he can achieve this with only 2 pieces of equipment. At this point, it becomes clear that Uncle 10 truly was his father's companion, and he offers Lin Han an opportunity to rise higher. He reassures him to take rest if he is weary and admits that for someone so young, he should also be guided with solutions and support. Together, they move forward with the discussion. Uncle 10 carefully inspects Lin Han's equipment, even though it is not of the highest quality, and is impressed. He decides to reward him generously, handing over 1 million talent coins. The reward is divided into 2 cards worth 550,000 coins each, placed under Lin Han's care as a sign of trust and responsibility. Uncle 10 first offers only 1 million coins for Lin Han's equipment, basing the price on a simple purchase. But Lin Han pushes back, reminding him that these weapons were obtained from the Gale Wolf King, a beast he personally defeated. Because of this, he argues, their value should be no less than 8 million. Lin Han stresses that even though 10 was his father's old friend, business must remain fair, and he intends to claim the full worth of his efforts. Uncle 10 responds firmly, saying that even as his father's closest friend, he can only offer 5.5 million. Lin Han disagrees, pressing for 7.8 million, insisting that his father always believed in fairness and he intends to follow that principle. The negotiation continues, back and forth, each standing their ground. Finally, Uncle 10 puts forth a balanced offer of 6.66 million, calling it a fair deal. Lin Han accepts, realizing he has managed to secure far more than expected. He feels relieved and grateful for his bargaining skills, knowing he gained a much higher profit than he first imagined. Both men smile, satisfied with the outcome. They reflect on how the deal began at just 1 million but concluded at 6.5 million, proof of Lin Han's persistence and ability to negotiate well. Both Lin Han and Uncle 10 leave the table with the feeling that they had outsmarted each other in the bargain. Soon after, the waitress arrives carrying a tray with 2 cards. Uncle 10 explains that the money has already been transferred. 1 blue card holds Lin Han's funds, while the black card will serve for trading purposes. He assures Lin Han that if he ever needs anything in the future, he can come to him without hesitation, since he was once his father's closest friend. Lin Han thanks him sincerely for handling everything. With his funds secured, he decides to head over and take a look at the magic scrolls, now that he finally has the money to do so. Meanwhile, Uncle 10 quietly reflects on what he has just witnessed. To him, Lin Han may still appear inexperienced and unpolished, but his strength and potential are undeniable. He sees in Lin Han a bright future, one too powerful to measure, and realizes there will be many occasions where working with him will bring great benefit. In Lin Han's house, where he notices someone waiting for him. At first, he assumes it is a servant, but soon realizes it is actually his uncle. Startled, Lin Han asks why he is there. The man introduces himself as Liu, once known as Chief Starward Liu, and greets him warmly, saying it has been a long time since they last met. Liu explains that the Lin family has long since fallen into ruin, leaving Lin Han as the last remaining heir. He then asks what Lin Han needs from him, offering his help in any way he can. Though the Lin family name and legacy may have faded, Liu assures him that he is still there to support him. When Lin Han asks why his uncle has returned to the Lin family, the man explains that Miss Bi Bing personally placed him there. She had gone to the Diamond Rang Mystique realm to capture a dangerous beast, and since she could not remain, she entrusted him with watching over Lin Han as family and guardian. This shocks Lin Han, who knows that even the dean's assistant, Miss Kim, fears entering that realm. He wonders how it is possible that Bi Bing dared to go there for his sake, realizing how much she is doing for him. As Lin Han prepares to open a box, his uncle suddenly strikes his hand away, startling him. The servant then reveals that there is another message for him. Lin Han, confused and uneasy, demands to know why he was stopped. His uncle explains that both Miss B and the old master had instructed him to deliver this. The B family has already done enough for him. After defeating the Void Beast, their connection with him would end. Whatever bond existed was only before that battle. Afterward, there would be no ties between them. Lin Han is left stunned. He cannot understand why, after Bi Bing fought so hard for him, Mr. Liu would deliver such cold words. The contradiction leaves him shaken, questioning why the B family insists on cutting all ties. Lin Han was shocked by the message but kept his composure. Clenching his fist, he declared that he respected their intentions but would not allow the bond between the Lin family and the B family to be severed. He reminded them that the B family had supported his clan when it was on the brink of destruction, and he intended to maintain that connection out of his own will, not because of anyone else's conditions. Disturbed, Lin Han turned to leave, clearly unsettled by what had been said. But as he walked away, the servant's gaze grew cold. With dangerous intent, he prepared to strike at Lin Han. The warning he gave was sharp, claiming that what the B family had offered him was beyond what anyone else could hope for, and that if he refused it, he alone would be responsible for the consequences. Sensing the threat, Lin Han released a hint of his power. The display stunned the servant, who froze in place, trembling with fear. He could hardly believe that Lin Han had grown so powerful. On the other side, Lin Han tosses his blue credit card, the one meant for his daily expenses, toward the servant. He tells him to deliver it to Miss B, stating that this payment should clear all her favors. Lin Han ends the conversation by asking the servant to thank Miss B for everything she has done for him. He says he is truly grateful, but warns never to go against him or try to blame him again. He explains that the friendship between the Lin family and the B family is precious, and he has no intention of destroying it. The servant, still shaken, silently wonders if this is really the same Lin Han as before. His growth and transformation are so great that he is almost unrecognizable. On the Lin home, exhausted, he lies down on his bed and mutters that the day has been overwhelming, filled with pressure and unease. Deciding he needs rest, he drifts off to sleep. After some time, his primordial beast, Fang, awakens. Its human face glows with a soft, radiant light that shines with affection toward Lin Han. As a bright glow passes through the window, the beast fully transforms into its human form and gently tells Lin Han to rest. Praising him for his hard work, the next day arrives, and the scene changes to the Class Change Temple. Lin Han is welcomed inside, where they explain that the systems of his room are already prepared. By this time, word has spread among everyone Lin Han had defeated Teacher Cao and even activated the Beast Timer, a feat that shocks the Academy. Everyone is commenting that is this Lin Han who reached level 10 and defeated Teacher Cao and switched on the Beast Timer. On this, Lin Han thinks that this news is spreading like fire. I will have to hide myself so that there will be no problem in the future. After leaving the hall, Lin Han is guided to a room where the receptionist had instructed him to go. This was where his next mission profile would appear. Inside, he finds a large crystal and recalls the receptionist's words that his mission details would be revealed through it. He places his hand on the crystal, expecting something simple suited for his level 10 rank. But as the mission appears, his expression changes. The requirements listed are extremely dangerous, far beyond what he had imagined. The crystal marks it with a 5-star danger level, a rating that signifies the highest risk. Stunned, Lin Han struggles to believe it. He had thought the task would be easy, but this was on an entirely different scale. Just as he is processing it, the quest activates immediately. Outside, others are equally shocked, wondering why the mission had started so suddenly without prior notice. Lin Han, caught off guard, realizes he has no time to prepare. The difficulty of the quest is overwhelming, and with its 5-star rating, it is clear that survival will not come easily.